They say walls are built to keep danger out. But along the ridgeline of northern China, there stands a wall that revealed a far deeper truth. Sometimes the greatest danger comes from within. Imagine standing on a frozen frontier in the dead of winter, smoke rising from distant fires, a lone soldier gripping his spear as the wind claws across the stones beneath his feet. He doesn't know it yet, but the empire he is sworn to protect is already crumbling. And centuries later, archaeologists would discover something hidden within this wall, something that rewrites everything we thought we knew about the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall isn't just bricks, battlements, and breathtaking views. It's a story of fear, of ambition, of a civilization fighting against the shadows at its borders, and the shadows in its own court. It's a monumental tale of emperors who dreamed too big, generals who fought too long, and laborers who never returned home. But it's also a warning, one still echoing across the world today. Because the real mystery of the Great Wall isn't why it was built, it's why it failed. Picture China more than 2,000 years ago, a fractured land of warring states, each kingdom building its own defensive barriers. No unity, no single vision, just desperation. To the north roamed the Xiongnu, fearsome horsemen who struck like lightning, vanishing into the plains before anyone could respond. Their raids pushed kingdoms to barricade themselves behind earthworks and watchtowers. But it wasn't enough. And then came the moment that changed everything. The rise of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. A man both feared and celebrated. A ruler whose obsession with control bordered on madness. He conquered rival states with brutal efficiency. And once the land was his, he turned to the one threat he couldn't conquer, those nomadic raiders from the north. His solution was unprecedented. Link the scattered fortifications into one continuous line. A wall stretching farther than any structure built before it. A barrier meant not just to defend China, but to define it. Thousands were forced into labor, farmers, prisoners, scholars condemned for defying the emperor's will. Some accounts claim that for every meter of wall completed, a life was lost. Whether that's myth or truth hardly matters. The suffering was real. The silence of the mountains still holds their stories. But no one could predict what would happen next. Because even as the wall grew longer, its weaknesses grew with it. The terrain was unforgiving, the empire too vast, and the enemy was adapting. Centuries rolled on. Dynasties rose and fell, each leaving its mark on the wall. The Han strengthened it. The Sui expanded it. The Tang largely ignored it. Then came the Ming dynasty, born from rebellion after the Mongols had shattered China's sense of security. The Ming rulers looked to the past for their salvation, reviving the old idea of a wall. But this time, they transformed it. Stone replaced packed earth. Watchtowers multiplied. Signal fires could warn distant garrisons within minutes. It became the Great Wall as we know it today. And yet, behind its beauty lay a silent truth. The wall wasn't just a defense system. It was a political symbol, a grand show of strength to mask a growing instability inside the empire. Corruption spread through the ranks. Soldiers stationed on the frontiers often went unpaid. Some deserted. Others made deals with the very raiders they were meant to deter. The wall stood solid, but the men behind it were crumbling. Then, in the early 1600s, everything changed. A powerful outsider force, the Manchus, began rising in the northeast. They were disciplined, strategic, and determined. The Ming, weakened by famine, rebellion, and court infighting, leaned harder than ever on the wall. To the public, it was a shield. To the officials in Beijing, it was a lifeline. But a shield is only as strong as the hand that holds it. In 1644, after years of chaos, the moment arrived. Li Zicheng, a rebel leader, seized Beijing. The last Ming emperor took his own life on a lonely hillside. As the capital fell, a Ming general named Wu Sangui faced an impossible choice. He was stationed at Shanhaiguan, the eastern gateway of the Great Wall, one of the most fortified passes on the entire structure. Behind him was the rebel army. In front of him, the Manchus, and the empire he had sworn to defend was gone. What he did next would rewrite history. Wu opened the gates. The Manchus swept through the pass, crushed the rebels, and established the Qing dynasty. The Great Wall, for all its might and majesty, had been defeated not by force, but by a decision. A key turned. A door opened. A world changed. This was the twist no one expected. The Great Wall didn't fail because it wasn't strong enough. It failed because it couldn't protect China from its own fractures. Its downfall came not from enemies charging its battlements, but from betrayal, desperation, and political collapse. And centuries later, archaeologists studying the wall found something that reinforced this truth. Inside portions of the structure, deep within collapsed sections, they discovered layers of construction that didn't match imperial records. Entire stretches were built hastily, using materials that shouldn't have been there. Straw mixed with mud, stones placed without alignment, a sign that local officials, desperate to meet quotas, cut corners to please the emperor. The wall's strength had been compromised long before invaders ever reached it. This revelation sent shockwaves through historians. It meant the Great Wall wasn't a single, unified masterpiece. It was a patchwork, strong in some places, fragile in others. A reflection of China's political landscape, mighty on the outside, chaotic within. A monument built on both ambition and anxiety. And yet, despite all this, the Great Wall endures. It stands not as a flawless triumph, but as a testament to human resilience and human fear. It reminds us that civilizations often fight the battles they fear most, even when those battles live inside their own borders. It asks us to consider a simple but powerful lesson. Can a wall ever truly protect a nation? Or do the cracks always begin from within? As you think about this, imagine walking along the stones today, the wind brushing your face, the mountains stretching endlessly, the weight of millions of footsteps beneath you, every brick whispering a story of hope, terror, and sacrifice. And you realize something. The Great Wall wasn't built to keep people out. It was built because an empire was afraid of what lay beyond its horizon, and perhaps of what lay within itself. This is the echoes of time, where the past still speaks. Subscribe for more stories history tried to forget.